Welcome to the Saturday Sports Line. Since 1969, the premier sports show about local high school sports, featuring coaches, players, and special guests. Now, here is your host of the Saturday Sports Line, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI Sports Director, Mitch Columbi, and sports analyst, Chris McGowan.
5 seconds to go here, 15-10. This is the last shot. Big time, deep three from Morgan Downs. Oh my goodness gracious. We have got a ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Another three by Morgan Downs from the volleyball line. We're talking NBA range, folks. 13-15 is the final of the first quarter.
Happy New Year here on the Saturday Sports Line, the first show of 2023, January 7th. I am Mitch Columbi. The tradition continues, and we are so proud to continue it on as we have got to get right into it. We have a jam-packed show for you. Let's just jump right in. Last night's big game, you heard a call there, a huge three from Morgan Downs to end the first quarter. But we had a chance to talk to head coach Neill Minix as the Knox Lady Redskins were able to pull away and beat the Winamac Lady Warriors last night, 51-29. From Harold Weinberg Gymnasium. Here's head coach Neill Minix after that big win.
First quarter, Morgan Downs hits a big three to make it 15-13. Could have been down 15-10. They did a nice job. They had a good defensive playing against us, and we kind of stood too much and threw the ball around. Like I said, credit to them for the defense in that first quarter until we could figure it out a little bit and get the ball in positions. But I thought our girls played great. I told them, like you said, the rivalry and just we knew, we throw records out and both of us are looking for wins. And I know, they play hard, and I thought we played hard as well. And Riley Messer, again, inside, did a lot of nice things, and she just, even though she doesn't score a lot of points, it just takes so much attention defensively and opens up other girls, and the other girls took advantage of it, like Morgan Downs hitting that. Cadence Qualls comes out again, scored 16 in our last game versus Maryville, comes out, I didn't see how many she got, but I'd say probably 10 points at least.
Yes.
And so she did a nice job again, and then Rylan Jordan off the bench probably had close to 10 points. And then just, off the bench for a freshman in a situation like that, very proud of her. Rose Webb gave good minutes, and, then just some injuries to Ella Fairchild with the ankle, and then with Portland with probably a calf strain or something.
Oh, good.
So hopefully tomorrow she can give us some minutes for Logosport, but we'll worry about that in the morning. And, I thought she did a good job getting the ball where it needed to go when she was in there. But overall, very proud of our team. We're getting better and better every time we step on the court, and we got to continue to do that.
It's a big-time win for the Knox Lady Redskins. Tough to see two of their starters go down. We sure hope that they are okay. But we turn and look at the Winamac Lady Warriors. Head coach Tony Stesiak talked to us after that tough game. Of course, in the first quarter, they really were neck and neck with the Knox Lady Redskins, and then the start of the second quarter as well. It just was that end of the second quarter is when the Knox Lady Redskins pulled away. So here's head coach of the Winamac Lady Warriors, Tony Stesiak.
We got off to a good start, right? We knew it was going to be a tough game either way. I felt like we had a good start. And then you're right. It felt like the game changed. I think their bench players played better than our bench players. And I think that was a time when we both sort of went to the bench and they got a lead. Their players made some nice shots. We were 5 of 23 in the first half. That's not going to win a lot of games, but I thought they were great shots. I thought we missed some shots, some easy shots. I think we had about 10 misses inside 5 feet. Felt like everybody missed at least one inside 5 feet from there. And I told the girls at halftime, I said, I don't know what it is. I think those are great shots. If we replayed the first half and you gave us all those shots again, I'd take them.
I
didn't think, we missed them and they made some tough ones, and credit to them. And I think that was a huge point. And then it affected our defense, and that young teams, you can tell them all you want, but when young players and any player, a lot of times you miss so many easy shots, you get frustrated, and then maybe you're thinking about that at the other end and you miss an assignment.
So, big-time win for the Knox Lady Redskins, a tough loss for the Winamac Lady Warriors. Since we've last talked about the Winamac Lady Warriors on December 19th, they traveled to Delphi. Tough loss, 18-52 in holiday tournament action. Same tournament, they turn around and beat the Frankfurt Hot Dogs. I always love that. That's a good one. The Frankfurt Hot Dogs, 68-34, and then they also won in the same tournament against North Montgomery, 44-25, and then that tough loss against Knox last night. The Knox Lady Redskins, since we last talked, expect a lot of tournament play over the holidays. December 22nd at Valparaiso, 21-60 was a tough loss against South Central. A tough loss, 45-49, so close. And then on the 29th of December, a tough loss to Northridge. A big win against South Bend St. Joe, 53-38. Then a tough loss to Andrean on the 30th, 31-48. Same day, they won against Maryville, 46-36. That's a big-time win. And then again, their win last night against Winamac. We look at the Tri-Township Lady Tigers. Chris McGowan, you may be wondering where he is this morning, and our thoughts and prayers are with him this morning. His aunt had passed away, so him and his family are definitely in our thoughts and prayers. And Chris, I miss you, buddy. Hopefully we'll get you back on the show next Saturday. But the Tri-Township Lady Tigers just continuing the winning ways. They are 11-4 right now. Big-time win at Oregon Davis, 68-47 on December 17th. We were there for that game. And then December 29th at Attica, they won 45-27. Huge win over River Forest at River Forest, 80-37. And then at Washington Township last night, it was a tough loss. Their first loss since November 29th. So it'd been a while since they'd seen a loss at Washington Township, 47-61. They're back in action tonight at home in the Tiger Den against Frontier, 5 p.m. Central. We look at the Oregon Davis Lady Cats. It's just been a tough season for them. They're 3-10 right now. Tough loss to Tri-Township, as we just mentioned, on the 17th. Then the Westville game was postponed on the 22nd, so January 4th was their next matchup against Triton, and they lost that game 31-47. But last night, with a huge win over Hammond Morton, they were due for it, and you can tell with the final score, 71-55. The Oregon Davis Lady Cats prevail. The South Central Satellites of Union Mills girls basketball team took a tough loss to my old rival in Shelbyville. Hate hearing that. 40-50 was the final in holiday tournament play. They turn around in the same tournament, though, and beat Knox, the Lady Redskins, 49-45. And then on January 3rd, they traveled to Lake Station. 52-45 was the final for a big win. And then on January 5th, Thursday, they won over Hebron, 57-21. The North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays took a tough loss on December 17th as they traveled to Valparaiso. 26-41 was the final. They turn around 5 days later. They traveled to West Central and win 67-42. And then on Thursday, tough loss to Kankakee Valley. It went to overtime, 39-47 was the final. A tough loss for them. The Culver Lady Cavaliers, 6-9 so far this season. Since we last saw them, they've only had 2 games. Big win against Westville at Westville, 52-39 was the final, and then a tough loss on Thursday against Caston at Caston, 35-63. The West Central Lady Trojans and head coach Tyson Mellon are continuing the unfortunate struggles right now. Tough loss at Washington Township on the 17th of December. Then they turn around a couple days later and lose, unfortunately, again to Argus, 47-58. A tough loss to North Judson on the 22nd, right before Christmas, 42-67. And then they finally get us their second win of the year. Of course, they haven't won since December 10th, but they got their second win of the year on January 3rd this week against Hebron, 71-35. That's the girls' scores in our area. Now let's transition to the boys' scores here. We look at the Tri-Township Tigers and head coach Rick Snodgrass. Boy, they are just continuing the unfortunate struggles as well. 1-9 on the year right now. Tough loss at Oregon Davis, 43-54 December 17th. Then on the 27th at Pioneer, 36-55. They took a tough loss there. Traveled to Attica on December 29th. Big win there, 53-12. So, they were due for that one. You could tell that was their first win of the season, and they put up 53 points on Attica, only allowing 12. That's a big-time win for the Tigers. And then they took a tough loss as they traveled to Washington Township last night. 42-60 was the final. They turn around and are back in action tonight in the Tiger Den against Frontier. 6:30 p.m. Central is the tip-off time. The Oregon Davis Bobcats are 2-6 right now on the season. On December 17th, we've already mentioned a big win over Tri-Township, 54-43. And then in holiday tournament action on the 29th of December, a tough loss to West Central, 61-74. And then another tough loss to North White, 44-54. They are in action tonight at home in the Bobcat Den, 6 p.m. Central. We will have head coach Larry Sennert at the bottom of this hour, so stick around, Oregon Davis fans. as the South Central Satellites of Union Mills boys basketball team are 3-6 right now. We've yet to have a chance to speak with head coach Eric Spear, and my apologies on that. It's a lot of juggling right now with all these teams. But DeMont Christian on the December 17th was a tough loss, 60-76. Then they stayed home again. 4 straight home games in a row through the holiday break for the South Central Satellites. A neat thing to mention there, as they hosted the holiday tournament there at the South Central Classic, I believe is what it's called. North White, big win there, 46. Wow, says here on John Harrell it was a tie, 46-46. 56-46. Okay, thank you to Kyle Evans, head coach of the Culver Cavaliers here. We're about to talk with him. He's helping me out here. But a big win there. And then on the 29th against West Central, 43-44, or no, a tough loss, 43-44. My apologies, as West Central got the better of them there. And then last night against Hebron, 30-53, a tough loss. They're not back in action tonight. I have an update. Their game against South Bend Career Academy has been postponed tonight. So keep an eye on them. Their next game isn't until the 13th, but I'm sure they will try to make that game good. We look at the Winamac Warriors and head coach Cam Bennington right now. They're having a tough time, 2-9 on the season. They traveled to Manchester on December 17th, 33-75. Big win at Delphi, 48-38 in holiday tournament action. Same tournament, lost to Frankfurt, 28-40, and then a big win against North Newton, 46-26. They are at Knox tonight for our game of the week here at Harold Weinberg Gymnasium. Tip-off is slated for 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Speaking of the Knox Redskins, tough loss to LaPorte on the 17th of December, 46-63. They turn around and beat North Judson. We were there for that night. Boy, was that a game. 42-39 was the final. And then the holiday tournament action on December 29th, a tough loss to Plymouth, 27-43. And then they turn around and win against Jimtown in the same tournament, 54-47. They see the Warriors tonight at Harold Weinberg Gymnasium. We're almost there, Coach, I promise. The North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jays and head coach Kent Chezem. Ken will be in here a little bit later. They are 8-2 right now, looking good. On December 17th, they won over Westville 61-53. Tough loss to Knox on the 21st, as I mentioned. Then they turn around a couple of days after Christmas for a holiday tournament against Fountain Central, 74-63, a big win there. Tough loss to Western. Same tournament next day, 44-55. They turn around the same day and beat Clinton Prairie, though, 57-50 in that tournament. And then last night against Couts, big win, 70-44. We look forward to hearing what Coach Chezem has to say about last night's win. They take on LaVille tonight, 6:30 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WYMR with the boss, Tony Ross, on Max 98.3. Scheduled start time for the pregame is 6:10 Central, 7:10 Eastern. Hope you join the boss, Tony Ross. We always love hearing what he has to say. He is fantastic. And we look at the West Central Trojans boys basketball team on December 19th. Tough loss, 53-69. They turn around in a holiday tournament action and beat Oregon Davis 74-61. And then at South Central, they win 44-43. And they are back in action tonight at Westville, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. All of that leads us to the Culver Cavaliers and head coach Kyle Evans. Good morning, Coach. I appreciate you sticking with me through that. How are you today?
That was a lot of words. No, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me in here. I might have gotten that wrong. I think South Central won maybe 54-46, but
okay.
I have no idea why it says 46-46 on there.
It kind of threw me for a loop there.
Yeah.
But anyway, we look at the Culver Cavaliers, and since we last spoke here on the Saturday Sports Line on December 17th, in fact, that night you were able to travel to Trinity Greenlawn, come away with a big win, 44-29. I'll do a quick recap. Then on the 28th, holiday tournament action, tough loss to South Bend Career, 46-56. And then at Hebron, was that the same tournament, I'm guessing?
Yeah, same tournament, yep.
Next day at Hebron, 33-41, a tough loss. And then, boy, Caston must be turning things around. I know they had a tough start to the season, but tough loss to Caston, 39-42. You guys must have been in that game. Let's go ahead and catch our listeners up on the holiday basketball games that the Culver Cavaliers had.
Yeah, so over break we played in the Hebron tournament and played South Bend Career in our first game, and super athletic team and quick. They play a little bit different than what we typically see throughout the season. and we just struggled to keep them in front of us. I mean, we really did, and without fouling, I should say. We had some good individual efforts. Shane Schumann had 31 points and 15 rebounds in that game.
Whoa.
Almost single-handedly willed us. I mean, just absolutely willed us in that second half, and we just couldn't get stops when we needed to. And I think it was about a 3-point game with a couple minutes to go, and then we got into the foul game, and they stepped up and hit free throws. We were shorthanded going into the tournament. We had only 8 guys total, and 3 of them were JV guys, and they kind of had to get thrown into the mix there, and some of the guys got their first real minutes varsity wise, which was tough, but it was a good experience for them. We played Hebron in the second day of that tournament, and my opinion, going into the tournament, I was thinking they were probably the best team in the tournament, and they got upset in their first round game, and we were like, great, our reward for losing the first game is we get to play. Yeah, we get to play the best team in it. So we actually played a great game. I thought we held them to 29 points in regulation, went to overtime 29-29. We're not a team that's gonna just we're not blowing any bulbs on the scoreboard because we're scoring a bunch of points, but we're really good defensively, and it's tough to hold a team to 29 points in regulation and be going into overtime.
Yeah.
And at that point, we had 3 guys fouled out, so our 3 JV players plus Ethan Keller and Emiliano Ortiz. I shouldn't say 3. One of them is a split guy, plays half JV, half varsity. But that was our group for that overtime, and Hebron, they were huge. I mean, they were 6'5", 6'6", 6'5", and they watched us the night before, and they saw Schumann just kind of
manhandle.
Yep. And I tell you what, if South Bend Career Academy found out why a lot of teams don't play Shane one-on-one in the post, he wins most of the time. So. Which
is a lost art in high school basketball.
For sure. We're kind of an old school basketball team.
Love that.
We have to play in the post, and we're starting to see this more and more, and it's tough for Shane. But they had their 6'6" kid playing behind him in the post. They had one of their 6'5" kids that was guarding somebody else, just literally stand in the paint in front of Shane the entire game. He still ended up with 8 or 10 points with he's a 6'1" center. I mean, it's not like he's huge.
Right.
He's just strong, physical, and then he outworks most guys, and he's just pure willpower from him. And we still got a good effort from him, but we really just struggle to shoot the ball from, I'd say, probably 15 feet now. We just don't have a bunch of guys that knock down a lot of perimeter shots. But we have some guys that can get to the rim. We have some guys that can score in the post. We work in the post with everybody. It's not just not our bigs. Our guards go down and they do post work as well, because we know our strength isn't from the perimeter. And that's kind of, I've had teams where our emphasis was, let's spread the floor and let's get some perimeter shots. This isn't the DNA of this group. So, that's it's something we are working to get better at. We're trying to, we get to the foul line a lot. We shoot over 20 free throws a game, and we don't make from there either very often, but we get there. If we can start, shooting a decent percentage from the free throw line, knock down a couple shots here and there, we're going to have success. All of our losses, we're 5-5 right now. All 5 of our losses, they were a 1 to 2 possession game within a minute to go. So,
wow.
We're that. I mean, we're that close. I mean, it's hard to look at those scores and be like, we're 5-5 and almost could be 10-0. I mean, it's unbelievable. Right. So, we're right there. It's not like we are in desperation trying to reinvent the wheel. We're in every ball game, and we're finding ways to win some games, and we're finding ways to lose other close ones. But we're right there, and it's fun to be in games.
Man, it's hard to believe you just said this isn't a shooting team. When we were there for that game against Knox, boy, the lid must have just been wide open. I mean, my gosh, the ball was dropping from everywhere, it seemed like.
Yeah, well, the kid that the kid that I think had 4 or 5 of those that you saw hit, he's dealt with some injury, and he's not going to be with us the rest of the year because of it. So, We did have one perimeter threat, and now it's gone. And it's reflecting in our scores. He started out the year injured and didn't play, and then he started playing. We went 4-0 with him in the stretch, and then kind of lost him again. And we've lost 3 in a row without him. But it is what it is.
Right.
We can't control that. And our guys are still going to compete and do everything they can. And, it can be – sometimes I'm sick for our guys because I know they're trying to do everything. They are doing everything right.
Yeah.
They just don't see the ball go through the hole, and it's really hard for them. But they do everything. They do everything right. They really do. They don't turn the ball over. We're about 9 turnovers a game, which is it was excellent for a high school basketball team at any level. So we are getting looks pretty much every time down, and they really, our kids are disciplined and very coachable to the point where they're going to work to get the shots we need to take.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to force bad shots. They're not going to take contested shots. They're not going to take threes when we can get a post feed. So they're doing everything right. I'm hoping they'll start seeing some of those fall for them, and I like where we're at.
Well, we look right now, you have a little bit of, a few days, about 6 days here. January 13th, you're traveling to Triton. What do you know about Triton, and what are you preparing your guys for?
Well, they're quick. They're athletic. They've got really good guard play. They always have. They haven't traditionally had a strong post presence. They have that this year with the Shoe Kid coming out to play, he was a great football player, and he brings that physicality for him. So it's kind of a new look for a Triton. And it's at Triton, which is almost impossible to win there, it seems, always. And we're right in the part of our schedule that's really hard. I mean, it's the best teams on our schedule coming up over the next few weeks. And this is the part of the schedule the last couple of years we've struggled to win games. We're in all of them, but we've always struggled to get over the hump against these good teams. We've got Triton, we've got the Bi-County, we've got Argus, we got LaVille, we got all those teams coming up, North Judson. This is the tough part. This is where we're going to find out what we're made of, and we're going to have to keep grinding and get better each day. And the best part about going into this week is Triton's a big rivalry game for us. It's not our biggest rival, but it's a rivalry, conference rival. And, our kids were really disappointed last night, and they were begging to get in the gym this morning, which we couldn't because we have junior high tournaments in both gyms. And we're taking the day off and coming back Monday to get after it. But they wanted to get back in the gym right away after a really close, upsetting, disappointing loss last night, and that's a good sign as a coach. You want that. So, we are hoping we can get over that hump during this stretch that we've struggled in the last couple of years.
Well, Coach, I was so glad we finally got you in here.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. It's been a learning curve for me this first year, juggling all these coaches. So, like I said, I apologize for all the coaches we haven't had on yet because I want to have everyone on as much as possible.
Yep.
And it means a lot. You take your time this morning. You got practice today?
Nope, but I'm going to head over and watch our junior high play in their tournament this morning. So I also wanted to thank you for your thoughts and prayers for Chris's aunt that passed. That's Rob Hostetler is my one of my assistants,
and
really? that's his sister. So
I did not know that.
Yep. So he was unable to be at our game last night, and it was tough. It's tough not to have him there. It's tough for to see him go through that and his family go through that. I know their family really well, really close with a few of them. So I appreciate the thoughts and prayers, and same thing, thoughts and prayers out to those guys and their family. And it's always tough, but I talking to Rob and talking to Coach Hostetler, it's I'm sitting here getting upset about losing the ball game, and I'm like, it doesn't even matter at the end. It does, but at the end of the day, that's not what's most important. So I do appreciate you saying that.
No, I appreciate you bringing that up and connecting the dots. Without Chris here this morning, it's a lonely broadcast for me. So I miss him too. So we are thinking about Chris and his family, and of course Rob and the entire family there. But thank you for coming in, Coach. We appreciate it, and don't be a stranger. We'll get you back on here, and we'll talk more wins here about the Culver Cavaliers shortly.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Of course, that's head coach of the Culver Cavaliers. That's right, Kyle Evans here on the Saturday Sports Line. Don't go anywhere. More to come. We are going to take a quick break and come right back. Head coach of the Knox Redskins. That's right. You know him. Joe Eskridge. He's in the building. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
baby.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, we've been serving family farms for over 130 years. We've seen our customers succeed in good times, pull through in tough times, and we've learned some lessons along the way. So we appreciate the customers we have today by finding the solutions they'll be looking for tomorrow. Are you ready to talk about your farm operation? Stop by a branch or visit us online at ffbt.com. First Farmers Bank and Trust. Equal Opportunity Lender. Member FDIC.
Collins Insurance Agency in Knox has done it again. They have earned the distinction of preferred agency partner from the Western Reserve Insurance Company.
Can't touch this.
So what does that mean for you? Collins Insurance Agency provides themselves of taking care of its community. That means providing the best insurance that keeps you and your family safe in a time of need. And with this honor, Collins Insurance Agency looks forward to providing Stark and surrounding counties the best customer service you and your family deserve. Collins Insurance Agency in Knox, living the golden rule by treating you like family.
This presentation of our area's local high school sports is sponsored by Pulaski Memorial Hospital in Winamac. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is dedicated to providing excellent health care to improve the health and quality of life for the people and the community they serve. They will meet the community's needs and exceed their expectations by creating the best possible health care experience. For more information of the services they provide, call 946-2100.
Let's continue the conversation with area high school coaches and more on the Saturday Sports Line.
No good from Cadence Qualls. Rebounded inside by Riley Messer, and she finds Cadence Qualls on the drive. My goodness, a beautiful play. Great awareness from Riley Messer as the Lady Redskins take back the lead, 16-15 with 7 minutes to go.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Line, the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana. Thanks to Harold Welter. It's time to talk Knox boys basketball. We have with us head coach of the Knox boys basketball team, Joe Eskridge, in the house. Good morning, Joe. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Mitch. I'm just wonderful.
It's good to have you here.
Yeah,
We saw you in action against North Judson. I have to bring that up first and foremost. That rivalry, man. I mean, when I first moved here in 2014 and went to the Knox-North Judson rivalry game, I mean, my goodness, you just felt the energy in the air. You could cut it with a knife. And, boy, that game, that rescheduled game on the 21st of December, it lived up to the hype. My goodness, you came away with a big win, 42-39. December 17th was a tough loss against LaPorte, but you turn right around and beat the biggest rival you guys have in North Judson. You got to be happy about that. I want to talk about that game in general, just to start out.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really good battle, and and our guys stayed tough down the stretch and was able to pull it out. It was a nice win, like you said, especially bouncing back from a bit of a tough loss against a tough opponent against LaPorte. But I was happy with the way our guys responded to the to that atmosphere of that game, and a really nice win.
Well, we look then, you traveled to Plymouth for a holiday tournament. What is the name of that tournament? Is there a specific name to that tournament over there at Plymouth?
If there is, I'm not aware of it.
I couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it anywhere. But holiday tournament play, a tough loss to Plymouth, 27-43, but then you turn around same day and beat Jimtown 54-47. Talk about a holiday tournament day.
I mean, it was it was disappointing not to come away with the trophy. We just come out a little bit flat in that first game. It's always a little bit different. You play those morning games, but but that's the thing. We've been trying to instill in these guys that there's it doesn't matter. We can't go in there and say, we'd rather play at 5 in the afternoon, or it's you got, no matter what it is, you got to come ready to play. And I thought, and that's on me. I said we didn't do what we had to do to get the guys ready for that morning game, and because no disrespect to Plymouth, I mean, they have a great team. They end up winning the whole thing, but I thought we left some things on the table there, and just didn't play our game in that morning game, but again, credit to our guys. They came back in the afternoon and did what they had to do, get a win against Jimtown, then here we are. We've been back to work and getting ready for Winamac tonight.
Well, 4-5 right now. Are you happy with where you're at, or did you see yourself maybe having a better start to the season, or you're about where you're thought?
You don't know. I mean, as a first year coach with this team, I mean, I think that we probably could have played better and maybe won a couple more of those games. But I'm happy with the guys' effort, and they come in to work and they do what they're supposed to do. It's just even though we have a lot of returning guys, a lot of senior guys. That's what you notice. Kind of, I think, as with a new coach coming in, it's almost like a young team because they're learning new things and they're trying to break older habits, and especially defensively, we do things quite a bit differently, and that's just like young teams, you see flashes of it, and then it kind of goes away, and then in different situations, and so we're just trying to put that together to where we get more consistent.
Well, talk about Winamac. What do you know about the Warriors this season? Anything?
I mean, they look like a nice, scrappy team. We've looked at them on film. They're going to play hard, and being a first-year coach, it's like I'm trying to recall the names and stuff. I know the numbers from watching on film. I'm not real familiar with everybody just yet, but I mean, they have a couple nice players that we're going to have to, or have to make sure that they don't get off. But really, I mean, at this point, and pretty much anytime, we're more worried about our stuff, and we're going to work and trying to get sharper and sharper. Like I said, just to make sure we build that consistency.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Coach. The couple games we've watched, I mean, your starting five is very strong. Declan Austin down, and I mean, how often do you get a 6'6", 6'7" guy down in the inside? I mean, you got to love having that. But one guy that really sticks out to me, he comes off the bench. His name's Nick Smith. And my goodness, does he just provide a spark? I love seeing guys come off the bench and provide a spark like that. I hate to just single one guy out because I know the whole team is full of these guys, but just talk about young Nick Smith and what he provides out onto the court when he comes out off the bench.
He's a really, really a nice player. That's what he's been. He struggled with being consistent in practice and things like that, but he's just got so much potential, and just very athletic. But he's working, and we're working on some of those issues. And here the last week or so, he's really been doing a nice job in practice. So, hopefully he can be just a more consistent presence there in the lineup.
Well, I think it speaks volumes. Teams have a good starting five usually, but when you have guys coming off the bench, that really means something. It provides a little extra because now you're going up against another team's bench, and if you can outplay their bench, more than likely you've got the deeper team, and those teams usually win. So I just wanted to bring that up. I had to ask you about him because I've been thinking about him every time we see you guys. He is just fun to watch. But talk about tonight in terms of what you want the fans to know and how they need to pack Harold Weinberg Gymnasium tonight for this one.
Yeah, we want to come out and just play a good, solid game. Hopefully, we can get out and run and have some fun and make it a really nice game for the fans to watch.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming in and taking the time. It means a lot, and good luck tonight. We're going to be there for you, so we'll have more to talk about here in the next few hours. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. That's head coach of the Knox Redskins, Joe Eskridge, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We are going to take a break, but don't go anywhere. We have more coming. Head coach of the North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jays, Kent Chezem, he's in the lobby waiting. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Real magic is everywhere. It's in your mom's cooking, in 4-hour dinners with friends, in that first bite of something new, and in the fizz of a Coca-Cola. Now with so many options for less than $5, the Coca-Cola Value Collection will help you make the most out of every magic moment for so much less. Taste the magic for less with Coca-Cola.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Life is busy. At First Farmers Bank and Trust, we know that your time is valuable. That's why we offer mobile banking, online account opening, and mobile check deposit. So you can take care of your banking and get back to the people who matter most to you, while we take care of the people who matter most to us, our customers. Visit us online at ffbt.com to learn more. First Farmers Bank and Trust. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here's more with area high school coaches as we return to the Saturday Sports Line from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital Studios on K99.3.
Portland Minix for an out-of-bounds play underneath their own basket. Kicks it out to Riley Messer for an instant three. Big-time three from Riley Messer. Back-to-back threes from both teams here. 9-8 as the Lady Redskins lead.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Line, the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana. It's time to talk North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jay basketball. We have with us head coach of the Blue Jays, Kent Chezem, in the house. Kent, how are you this morning?
Doing well, thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Well, you look younger.
I don't know. Maybe a nice win, does that to you instead of aging you like they usually do.
Yeah, we'll talk about that big win over Couts, but let's catch our listeners up real quick. Since we last talked on December 17th, you had that big win that night against Westville. Then that tough loss at Knox. We were there for that game. We'll have a chance to talk about that one a little bit. But then you turned things around in holiday tournament play, beating Fountain Central 74-63. Turn around in the same tournament. Tough loss to Western, 44-55. Where is Western?
Western's right outside of Kokomo.
Okay. What's their mascot?
I think they're the Panthers.
When I saw West, I was like, where the heck is Western? So, and then Clinton Prairie, you turn around and beat them on the 28th, my dad's birthday, 57-50, big win there. And then Couts last night, 70-44. I'll let you talk about what you want to talk about, but I got to ask about the Knox North Judson game. I want to recap for our listeners. Boy, it didn't go your way, but what a game. I've listened back to it, and it was just so exciting. It just didn't go the way you wanted it to go. I know you had a good look there at the end, but talk about that rivalry as a whole and what you guys learned from that game.
Well, it's one of those things. It's the old cliche. You throw the records out, and we knew it was going to be a tough game. I thought the Knox kids played a little tougher than we did throughout the game, and we had a chance. We had I think a 10 or 12 point lead in the third quarter, and that's kind of something that. The uneven play that we've had has been an issue for us. For instance, last night we're up 22 at halftime, and I think our guys just kind of shut it down. And in the third quarter, we did not play very well at all. Next thing you know, we're only up 10, and they have the ball. And thank God, we got a guy like Aldrich Harper who makes a big steal and get a bucket, and then we were able to push it right back up over 20 again. And, I think for us, we've got to be a little bit more consistent in our play. And that Knox game was a real wake-up call for us. We knew how good they were going to be. We barely beat them last year on their floor in the second game. And then, we turn around and go to a holiday tournament that was a really, really good tournament. There's a lot of quality teams in it. We open up with Fountain Central, who has a 6'10" kid.
What do you do?
He's 16 kid, and he hit 6 threes against us.
So both Keller and him like the outside.
Kelson.
My apologies.
That's all right. Kelson hit 6 threes in that game too. So you have two guys that are over 6'7", and they combine for 12 threes. It was a really well played game. Fountain Central was undefeated coming in, ranked 4th in 1A. So that was a great win for us. Did not really like the way that we handled the second day, the travel and the time change and that sort of thing. It was an early morning for us, and didn't give our best effort. But Western's a good team. They ended up winning the tournament. They had a 6'8" player who big lefty that would be probably a full scholarship player at basketball, but he's a heck of a baseball player. They say he may get his drafted as high as the 5th round in the Major League draft this summer. So he was a talented player, and he did a nice job against us, and they had some nice guard play. So finished up there with a win against Clinton Prairie, which is my alma mater, so it's always nice to beat them.
Is it really?
Yeah. So it was nice to beat those guys. And then last night, boy, I'll tell you what, we struggled in practice early in the week. Thursday, had a great practice, carried that over into the game last night. And really for about 24 minutes last night, we played really, really well.
Boy, I tell you, I don't remember playing back-to-back nights. This would be a lot of fun if I was in high school right now. I mean, your kids must be so happy. There's no practice between last night's game and today.
Well, we'll have a little walkthrough today, but it's not a real practice, I guess.
Well, you talk about LaVille tonight. Of course, that'll be broadcasted on our sister station, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WYMR, with the boss, Tony Ross, on Max 98.3 FM. Had to let our listeners know. But you're traveling to LaVille tonight. What do you know about the Lancers?
Yeah, they play a different style of basketball than most teams. Last night we're playing a team that is more of an open post team, a lot of movement, a lot of cutting, not as much screening. I don't think we play anybody that screens more than LaVille.
Wow.
And they really are disciplined. They understand how to move off the ball. That's kind of a lost art at the high school level. Those guys, their cutters, use their screens very well, and defensively they do some things with their switching and that sort of thing that are different. So it'll be a great test for us going on the road. It's our first conference game. It's a big game. It's also a sectional opponent. So hopefully, we're still striving to put that game together where we play 32 minutes, and I would like to see us do that tonight.
If I was on North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jay team right now, what would head coach Kent Chezem be telling me and the other players every practice?
Well, it just kind of depends. It's funny. We were joking. Quinn Bales was incredible last night. He had 17 points and 7 assists, only had 1 turnover. Was 5 for 5 from the 3-point line.
Wow.
And if you ask Quinn what Coach Chezem says, he would say, hey, you need to back screen more. And if he's listening right now, I really got on him this week. We like to take a guy like him that can really shoot it and set some back screens.
Yeah.
See if we can get him to help on a cutter, open him up on the perimeter. But he was really good last night. Guys like Eric Materna and Cheyenne Allen both, we've asked them to be elite rebounders, and haven't always done that, and they would admit that. But boy, last night they really got us going. We had 3 offensive rebounds on our first possession last night, and that kind of carried over. I think we had 8 offensive rebounds in the first quarter, and that's been a real weakness for us. That the rebounding overall hasn't been, but definitely the offensive rebounding has. So I guess it just kind of depends. We had some other guys step up as well. Connor Benson is kind of in the starting lineup right now. And,
oh, really?
And, we kind of made that change, and it's kind of been a good one for us. Connor missed all of the offseason. He had surgery, shoulder surgery last spring right after the basketball season. And, he didn't really get back until about the 2nd or 3rd week of football season. So he missed all of that, and he's just really kind of coming into his game right now, and he's been playing really well and stepping up his leadership and his ball handling. And I thought he had a really nice game last night as well. And him doing that kind of opens up some things for some other guys. Wyatt Stowe and Aldrich Harper, those are 2 quick energy guys that we brought off the bench last night. And Couts has a really good starting lineup. They start 5 seniors, but they're not real deep. And we were just able to run a bunch of guys at them, and just constant ball pressure last night. I thought for 3 of the 4 quarters, our ball pressure was really, really good. And when we can pressure the ball and create some turnovers and get out and run, that's probably when we play our best basketball. So, you ask, what do I talk to them? It's kind of individual. They all have their individual strengths and weaknesses, and they're a fun group to coach, and they work really hard, and hopefully we can just continue to get better.
Well, I think back to the last game I watched you guys, one thing that stuck out to me, and I don't want to single one player out, but one that really stuck out was Ty Schumacher, movement without the ball. And, I grew up in central Indiana watching Reggie Miller, so movement without the ball was just, I loved watching that type of play. And seeing him come around off screens and I mean, it just seems like you guys have set plays for guys to come off screens, to be moving without the ball. I just love watching that style of basketball. Talk about maybe, you know what, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of missed him. You know, he had 16 last night in kind of a quiet way. Last night, defensively, he was really good, and that's one of the things we've been challenging him in practice. But he's a shooter. He's a scorer. He's one of those rare kids at the high school level that can score at all three levels. He can score from 25 feet. He has a great pull-up jumper. He can get all the way to the rim. He's shooting right at 90% from the free throw line on the year.
That's great.
So, yeah, he's just one of those guys that we really count on to put the ball in the basket. We're hoping to see him get his 1,000th point later this year. Hopefully that'll happen. So, you know, he's had a great career, but, boy, we're really expecting a lot more out of him even, you know, going through the rest of the season.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time. Big time good luck to you and the rest of the team as you travel to LaVille tonight, and we'll have some media there for you. So
all right.
Don't be shy and talk to Tony there. But we appreciate you coming in this morning, and we look forward to seeing you beat LaVille tonight.
All right, great. Thanks for having me.
All right, that's head coach of the North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jays, Kent Chezem, here on the Saturday Sports Line, the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana. We're going to take a break and come right back. We've got head coach of the Oregon-Davis Bobcats, Larry Sennert, in the house. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Brian Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Brems. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392, the Stark County Co-op.
Join us each Saturday morning on WKVI for the Saturday Sports Line and worldwide on WKVI.com.
Oh, good. Rebounded Haley Addinger. Back out to Maggie Smith. Now inside to Emma Goodman. Back out to Maggie Smith. Smith, big time three, top of the key, and she gets it to go. Another three from the Lady Warriors. 11-9. It's a back and forth affair here in the first quarter.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Line. So glad to be here for you. I'm Mitch Columby. The tradition continues here on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting as WKVI will always be here. We are continuing the trend of Stark County basketball. We're going to talk to head coach of the Oregon-Davis Bobcats, Larry Sennert, here, as a tough loss on December 29th to North White in holiday tournament play. But you've had a week off and a little bit of time to get ready for Rochester tonight. Coach, how are you this morning? Good morning.
I'm good. Good morning.
Hey, it's good to have you in. Tough couple of games there, but you did beat Tri-Township on the 17th of December. We were there for that game. Of course, that was Hall of Fame night. A lot of big-time names from Oregon-Davis were in the house and being acknowledged that night, and we were so glad to be there for that game. You had 12 days off, so you had from the 17th to the 29th off. We talked about how it'd be a little tough to juggle the holiday break and keeping kids focused and stuff, but boy, that holiday tournament, a tough loss to West Central and then North White. Talk about the holiday tournament and what your boys learned through that.
Well, I hope they learned that, you just can't say you want to be a winner. You have to go out and do it every day at practice. We were 11 for 29 from the free throw line, had way too many turnovers. Just, I thought our kids just weren't ready to play. When I say our kids, we need 1 through 10, whatever we have dressed for varsity, they need to all be, next man up, accept the challenge, be ready to play, and our focus just wasn't there. Possibly my fault that I didn't have them ready to play that morning, in that game, because that's a game we should have won. It just, we just did a lot of things that weren't what it takes to win basketball. In the game of basketball, there's more to it than dribbling and passing, shooting. Those are all big keys. Don't get me wrong, but you got to be focused. You got to know what your role is, and you have to know what it takes to be the player that you want to be, and that starts in practice.
Well, talk about some of the good things that you may have seen from your guys since we've last talked. Maybe some growth in some areas.
Well, I'll give them a lot of credit. Those kids, whether we're winning or losing, they're there every day at practice. They don't miss. The varsity kids are there. They were committed all through break. They show up. They work hard. They listen to Coach and I. If we yell at them, try to teach them things and try to get them on the right page. And it's tough when you only win a couple games, but they come back and continue to battle. They play hard. But, what's the definition of playing hard? Playing hard and playing smart. We've got to make sure which one's the one that's going to make us the better basketball team. You can play hard, but if you do silly things and play hard and the result is not going to be winning, which ultimately is what they want and what we need to do. In the tournament there, Connor Danford was our MVP of our team. They gave out, each team got a couple kids, one kid for us. So he did get that. And Connor continues to improve and do a lot of good things. He's a senior, so we may look up to him a little more than we should on some things. He may try to do some things more than he should at times, but overall he does a tremendous job for us.
Well, let's talk about Rochester. What do you know about Rochester heading into tonight's matchup?
Well, Coach Melko's, he's coached a lot of games and done a lot of good things and was a great player. He will have those kids ready to play. He always does every year. They'll be fundamentally sound. They'll be running a 2-1-2. And, they'll come after us, but, we're ready. Our goal is now just take each game individually and each quarter individually and try to get better. And that's, there's more to life than just saying, okay, we got the great record, even though we all want to win, but we need to grow as a team and continue to be the team that we can be from here on out. And that's a big goal for all of us, coaches and the players. But, like I said, to repeat myself, those kids, they come to practice, they work hard, and they're great kids. We've just got to get them to be better basketball players.
Well, non-related basketball questions. You have a good holiday break?
I'm glad it's over.
I guess it wasn't a break, but you still had practices and stuff.
We had practices, and those kids showed up, and it was good. I'm glad it's just on to the next game. We want to play basketball. Those kids want to play, and we want to play. And tonight's another home game, so we're looking forward to that, and looking forward to showing some improvement and do what we can.
Well, I see it's your fourth year at Oregon Davis. But before this, I've been told you were Knox's head coach. Is that correct?
I wasn't head coach. I was like an assistant with coach.
Oh, I got you. Yep. I got you. Yep. So talk about we have yet to really ask you your history as a basketball coach. Let's dive in a little bit and find out about Larry Sennert. How long you been coaching?
Well, some days too long and some days not enough. Does that make sense? I was at Knox for I did almost every grade here at Knox and had a lot of fun. And then got an opportunity to go over to Oregon Davis, and that's where I want to be. That's my home. And I tell those kids every day that, I'm thrilled to death to be there and thrilled for the opportunity. And now I just got to get things where they need to be.
Well, talk about Rochester having to travel up to get to play in the Bobcat Den. They're going to have to take 31 and then cut over on 30. Boy, you come into the Bobcat Den after an hour drive. Maybe it plays into your hand a little bit for tonight?
Well, I'm not sure. We played West Central in that tournament, and they got there an hour early, and they still beat us. So I don't know about the time having much effect.
Sure.
And, it's all about the kids and how focused they are when the game starts. And our kids will be there, and they'll be shooting around early. And, I don't have a problem getting them there. I don't have a problem with, as far as their attitudes. They're great kids. I just have a problem with them getting to put it all on the floor when we're out there.
Sure. Well, talk about some of the bench players. Has there been anybody step up off the bench providing minutes where the starters come off and maybe be a little spark for you?
Caleb Cease is another senior, and we expect more out of Caleb than he's been giving us, and I think he's improving every game. And Caleb's just real quiet. He's but he's got a lot of tools in his with him, and he can do good things. He just confidence seems to be an issue, and it's really right down the line. Connor Frazier is probably a leader for us. He's got 19 charges already, so that's what we've got him tracked at, which is right up there at the top. It is amazing. His body knows how amazing it is too. But And then, we've got Ethan Hewitt. He comes in.
You said it's kind of trickled down to some of the other players, though. They're wanting to take charges now. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, you're right. We've got a couple kids that I would never expect to take a charge. Caleb Cease, he took a charge. He tries to take one, but yeah, the kids see it and they see the reaction from the crowd, the reaction from the kids on the bench, and it kind of carries over to all of them. So, but yeah, we got Ethan Hewitt comes in there and does some good things, and plays his role. Ethan is he can be really focused and very coachable. And then I got Carson Matthews who comes in, and he's a big kid, and Carson's really learning the game and doing a better job every day at practice. And yeah, there's other kids, and we've got 3 freshmen. We got DJ Garland, we've got Brady Danford, and we got Connor Matthews, who I usually say Connor and Carson, I mix them up, but we got Connor. So those kids are all there, and let's see, I probably missed somebody here. I don't know who it is, but I'm thinking.
No, you're all right. Maybe you got a JV game tonight?
We do have a JV game tonight, yes.
So talk about some of the JV players. I know that they don't really get a lot of the shine, so to speak, since they're the game before the varsity game. But what do you see in your future there at Oregon Davis?
Well, we're struggling with numbers. We don't have a lot of numbers in the JV. We'd like for that to be a little better than it is, because our numbers on the JV are just very weak. We've only got 5 or 6 kids that play, so we put a couple kids off the varsity down there, put them there. As far as I don't mean seniors, but some of the freshmen go down there and play a quarter, which sometimes that's hard for a young man to be able to come in and play the first quarter of a JV game, then sit for 3 quarters, sit through the halftime, and sit in the pregame. So we've had good results and bad results with that, but overall it was those kids come and practice too. They're not quite as focused as I'd like them to be, but they're working at it.
Well, there's still a lot of games left, Coach. We're really more than you're not even halfway through the season, really, if you look at the schedule here. You got Rochester tonight, then you turn around and see South Bend Clay on the 10th. What do you see over the next 5 games in your stretch? Maybe something you're trying to key in on for your boys to hopefully learn and get better at.
Well, we're keying in on ourselves. We can spend a lot of time doing scouting reports and talking about other teams, but ultimately in the games that we've been competitive in and not finished, it's been everything about ourselves. It's been turnovers, rebounding, passing, all the things we do every day at practice. We are just not getting out there and getting finished on the floor. So even the repetition of the practice time, it's just not. We've got to figure out a way to get them to finish and do the things. We work on shooting, and our defense has been a little suspect, so we've got to really focus on that, which Coach Dan's been working on that all week, and he's done a great job getting us to play defense, because obviously I wasn't getting it done. So,
well, don't say that, Coach. Well, we see the next area team of ours that you're facing is Winamac. Of course, we're going to see the Winamac boys team for the first time of the year, and then you'll see Culver on the 25th. But a lot of these teams you play, South Bend Clay, Argus, LaVille, Bethany Christian, Elkhart Christian, River Forest, Bremen, then Knox on February 10th. So you guys get out. You guys travel quite a bit. You've had several home games here. You're getting ready here at the end of this month to go on a 5 game road trip.
Yep.
So I know we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but that should be an interesting few games there.
Yeah, there's some good teams that are on our schedule. Of course, Argus is always good. They'll be a challenge. And Clay's usually loaded. They'll have a ton of kids, and they'll be very athletic. So those are 2 games that we know coming up right away that are going to be – our schedule doesn't get any easier, but to repeat myself, it's more about us than it is about our schedule or who we're playing.
Sure.
We have to find a way to become the team that we can be and continue to look forward, not look back. And, forget about our record. Just play the game.
Absolutely. So you're heading into tonight against Rochester. What's your message to Bobcat Nation heading into this game tonight?
Well, we appreciate all the support, and we're going to have our hands full. Don't get me wrong; they do a lot of good things over there, and they play a tough schedule. But ultimately, it's the usual. We want to win, and I know the boys want to win, and we appreciate all the fan support and everybody else. But it's the same old go Bobcats.
Tip off is slated for 6 p.m. Central. Is that the varsity game?
Yes.
And then the JV game should start around
4:30, I think.
4:30 p.m. Central for the JV game, 6 p.m. Central tip-off time for the Oregon Davis Bobcats hosting the Rochester Zebras. Head coach Larry Sennert, I appreciate your time, Coach. Thanks so much every Saturday. Happy New Year to you and your family.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for all your support, and I hope I didn't miss one of my kids there because I'll probably hear about it at practice when we ever walk through this morning, but that's all right.
You got 7 days to figure it out and be right back.
Yeah, well, nothing else. Next week I'll just mention him twice, okay?
There you go. All right, that's head coach of the Oregon Davis Bobcats, Larry Sennert, here on the Saturday Sports Line, the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana. We are going to take a break, go to the top of the hour. News and weather's coming your way. Don't go anywhere. Athlete of the Week, Rose Peterson's on the other side. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios, quality care closer to home. You're listening to WKVI FM 99.3. Knox, North Judson, Winamac, playing the best of Vinyl Gold, a service of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting.
This is a Fox News Alert. I'm Jill Nato.
And now, the hard work begins.
Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy elected to serve as Speaker of the House early this morning after a record-setting 15 votes by representatives-elect this past week.
As Speaker of the House, my ultimate responsibility is not to my party, my conference, or even our Congress. My responsibility, our responsibility, is to our country.
It took some deal-making, making rule changes to appease conservative holdouts who refused to support him. Soon after that 15th vote put McCarthy over the top, President Biden issued a statement congratulating him, and members of the House were finally sworn into office so they can begin the 118th session of the U.S. Congress. I'm Jill Nato. This has been a Fox News Alert.
My dad has a cold, but also has high blood pressure. That's why I got him Vicks NyQuil High Blood Pressure for fast, powerful nighttime relief. Unlike some ordinary cold medicines, it's specially formulated for people like my dad. NyQuil High Blood Pressure is sugar-free, alcohol-free, and decongestant-free.
Vicks NyQuil High Blood Pressure. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, cold, and flu for people with high blood pressure.
Like my dad.
Medicine. Use as directed.
Here are some of the stories you may have missed this week. I'm Anita Gooden from the WKVI Information Center. Candidates began filing for the 2023 primary municipal election this week. One person was injured in a Wednesday accident in Pulaski County. Pulaski County Sheriff's Department deputies say a vehicle driven by 28-year-old Tiffany Colston was traveling in the area of County Road 550 South and County Road 600 East in Star City when her vehicle left the roadway for an unknown reason and struck a utility pole. As a result, the utility pole broke and left live power lines in the roadway, according to the report. Police say Colston was in stable condition at the scene, but was airlifted from the scene to be treated for injuries sustained in the accident. Fulton County REMC responded to the scene to assist with repairs to the pole and power lines. The accident remains under investigation. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Department was assisted at the scene by the Star City Fire Department, Pulaski County Emergency Services, and Fulton County REMC. The Knox City Police Department announced during the Knox Board of Works meeting last week, Kenny Fost has been hired as a detective. Chief of Police Harold Smith said Fost will be the department's detective to start the new year this week. Stark County Sheriff's Office K-9 Cody has received a bullet and stab protective vest thanks to a charitable donation from nonprofit organization Vested Interest in Canines Incorporated. Stark County Republicans will be conducting a party caucus this month to fill the remainder of a term for the Stark County Council at Large. Don Binkley has assumed the office of commissioner and will vacate his seat on the Stark County Council at Large. The caucus will be held Saturday, January 14th at 11 a.m. Central Time in the James Hardesty Community Center in Hamlet at 17 West Indiana Avenue. Eligible Republicans interested in filling the remainder of this unexpired term have until Wednesday, January 11th at noon Central Time. Filing of intent must be completed at the Stark County Clerk's office 72 hours prior to the caucus. The Stark County Commissioners reorganized during their board meeting Monday. Mark Gorley was appointed the County Commission Board President. Charles Chezem was appointed Vice President, and Don Binkley was appointed as the County Commissioner Secretary. The Knox City Council honored 3 volunteer firemen during their meeting last week. Knox Mayor Dennis Eastock awarded 38-year volunteer Floyd Burton, 33-year volunteer Steve Barrett, and 22-year volunteer Bob Cole with personalized plaques commemorating their service to the community. The Knox Community School Board held a swearing-in ceremony during their meeting Tuesday. New members Jason Downs and Aaron Duff were sworn in by Knox City Court Judge Charles Hasnerl. Gary Doolin was sworn in as well, as he retained his seat on the school board during the 2022 elections. Following the ceremony, Kirk Bennett was selected as the school board president, Autumn Furch as vice president, and Wendy McIntyre as secretary. The WKVI AccuWeather.com forecast is next.
From the K99.3 Weather Center, here's your forecast. It'll be partly cloudy today, 37 will be your high. Wind chill about 25. Tonight, cloudy and 27. For Sunday, cloudy and 35. Sunday night, cloudy and 25. And your outlook for Monday, partly cloudy and 37. For your extended forecast 24/7, visit our website, WKVI.com. From the WKVI Weather Studio, it's 30.
It's time now for Hour 2 of the Saturday Sports Line with your host, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI Sports Director, Mitch Columbi.
I appreciate you sticking with us here in the second hour of the Saturday Sports Line, the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, thanks to Harold Welter. I am Mitch Columbi. The tradition continues here on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting as WKVI will always be here. Hey, we're talking our Athlete of the Week, Rose Peterson from Culver Community. She is having a fantastic season on the Lady Girls basketball team. I'll go ahead and cut it off there. We're going to let her describe how good of a season this has been for her, not only in basketball, but in the fall, she was a part of that great soccer team there at Culver. Let's go ahead and bring in Rose Peterson. I had a chance to sit down and talk with her right before Christmas break. Of course, it was kind of crazy time-wise to try to find time when we could, but I had a chance to sit down and talk with her. Here's my sit-down interview with Culver Community's Rose Peterson.
All right, Rose. Well, here we are, first week of January already. You have done a fantastic job for the Lady Cavaliers. Talk about basketball. What is it about this sport that you really enjoy?
Well, this is my 11th year of playing basketball now. And, last year wasn't the best year because it was just kind of everyone was getting to know each other and everything. But this year, we've done really well in practice. And I think the last Knox game we had, we just really showed what we could do as a team.
Talk about some of the teammates on this team. Is there anyone out on the court that maybe inspires you, maybe you look up to, someone that you enjoy playing with?
Yeah, I really like playing with actually all the starters. I really like Kennedy. She's new from Rochester.
Kennedy Jackson.
Yeah, she's been doing really well. Amaya Williams, Vin, and Grace, they're all just really great people, and I just love playing with them.
Talk about the coaching staff. I know head coach Shane Lowry does a very good job with you girls, but talk about the rest of the coaching staff, including Coach Lowry.
Yeah, our coaches are really good. Mr. Barrett does a really good job with scouting and bringing up plays, and Mr. Lowry is really good at practice. And, yeah, everyone's really good, and we like them all a lot.
What's your parents' names?
Kate and Waylon.
And I'm sure they're big supporters of you playing basketball. Talk about that a little bit.
Oh, yeah. They support me in everything I do. I just started my my first soccer season last year, and they were very supportive of that, even though it was my first year. So, yeah.
Well, and, the soccer team, I remember reading those scores. My goodness, you guys just couldn't stop scoring. Talk about playing soccer and then transitioning into basketball. It sounds like you stay busy here at Culver.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was my first year playing, and we just had a great team, great coaches. And I guess coming into basketball, it's different because there are not as many people as on the team and, different, atmosphere, I guess. But, it was really fun.
Talk about maybe some of the younger kids on this team, someone that maybe has surprised you, maybe through workouts, practice, and games. Has there been anyone on the team that surprised you?
Maybe not really surprised, but a lot of the freshmen from last year have improved a lot, like Amaya Williams and Bryn. They've both showed a lot of improvement from last year.
And you say Bryn Barron, is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
Talk about what she provides out on the court. She was named our Player of the Week in that Knox, or Player of the Game, that Knox game. Talk about what she provides out on the court.
Yeah, she's really tall, so she's able to get some good passes. She's a good point guard. She can drive to the basket and makes really good passes, so she's really helpful.
What is your personal goal for this season in basketball?
Well, I'd like to have our team win sectionals. I feel like that would be really, really cool. So just anything to be able to do that as a team would be amazing.
What is the overall team goal? Has there been a message from the coaches that they have set a goal for this season for you guys?
Well, I don't know really about a goal, but we definitely have they've talked about winning by county. You know, obviously it's not going to be easy, but we've set some goals for ourselves, and hopefully we can achieve those.
Is there anyone you'd like to say hello to this morning?
I guess hi to my parents and my family and my team.
Last question. I always ask this to our athletes of the week. What does being a Lady Cavalier mean to you?
I just really love the team, and I really love everything about the school, and I'm just really glad I came 2 years ago. So I guess the leadership and everything has just been really great.
Well, congratulations. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Big time thank you to Rose Peterson of Culver, also the athletic director, Mike Zahner. Always appreciate him allowing me the access he does for that fantastic interview. Hey, we are not done with Culver. More to come. We have Kennedy Jackson and Destin Green on the other side of the break. Had a chance to talk with them as they committed to continue their athletic career after high school. Find out where after the break. You're listening to the Saturday Sports Line.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Brems. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392.
Welcome to Marian University's newest location, Ancilla College of Marian University. Marian's newest campus location in Plymouth is your home for an on-campus college experience. From living in the dorms to being a collegiate student-athlete, Marian University is ranked third most innovative Midwest university by U.S. News and World Report. For more information about our 2- or 4-year degrees, go to www.marian.edu/Ancilla. That's www.marian.edu/Ancilla.
You're listening to Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
You know who it is, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios, we are continuing our talks of Culver Community High School. Man, they have got the athletes right now, 2 of which committed to continue their athletic career after high school on in college. We'll bring up first, though, Kennedy Jackson. We've already seen her a couple of times on the basketball floor this season. Man, is she fantastic to watch. You'd think she would have a basketball career watching her out there on the court, but she has committed to Grand Valley State University to be on the track team there and compete in the shot put division. Here's my sit-down interview with Kennedy Jackson on signing day.
Well, first off, Kennedy, congratulations. Tell me what was behind this decision to go with Grand Valley State.
Really the coach there in the school. It was very beautiful. And the coach had a lot of interest in me. And at first I was a little skeptical because, you know, I was on the college search and I've seen so many schools and it was like, what school do I want to go to? And then I went there and I saw the facilities. I saw everything, all his coaching. I went through a practice and saw their practices. And I was like, this is where I want to be. Like, this feels like my second home.
So you say when you first had this thought, when was this? When did this come about that you had this opportunity?
When I honestly did put off the visit because I had a lot of things going on. And then I was like, I have to go visit this school. And I went to the school, visited it, and I knew. When did I know, like, it was the school I wanted to go to?
Yeah, like, when was this? Was this a year ago?
It was actually maybe 3 months ago.
Oh, so this is fairly new.
So it was very new, yeah. And it's funny because I didn't know when I wanted to go there when I saw the facilities. I knew I wanted to go there when we were on the rooftop of the library, and I looked out over everything, and I was like, this is it. Like,
just
this
was
is
a
my
feeling.
school. Yeah.
So now let's talk about Culver. You've obviously had a career here, and it's been noticed by Grand Valley State.
Yeah.
So talk about your career here at Culver. I saw your teammates from various sports that you've had along the ride. Just talk about Culver in general.
Well, it's funny because this is my first year here. So I transferred out from Rochester, and I was a little skeptical on how I'd be moving my school, like transferring what I've done at Rochester, because I've done a lot to here, and it's going pretty well, actually. And yeah, I'm just excited to see how I do in track. Especially, I want to thank my weights coach, Clint Guard at Rochester, and Coach Evans here, because they've definitely put a lot of emphasis on that, since track does help with weights.
So, and you will be getting ready for the spring season here shortly. You must be getting excited for one final try here at Culver.
Yeah, I mean, I love basketball and all, but like track is where my heart is, and I'm very excited to start throwing and to get to see my numbers increase and then get to carry it over to college. So yeah.
So how many sports total do you play here at Culver?
3. I do soccer, basketball, and throw and track.
Man, that soccer team was amazing this year. Talk about playing on the soccer team and then now transitioning into basketball.
Soccer was this year. I played soccer for 3 years, and this year was by far the best year I've ever had. Coach AJ Neese, Katie, and Jess definitely are like the best coaches I've probably ever had. AJ just he brings the family atmosphere, which I feel like also brings in the winning. Yeah. And we did win a lot. I mean, I know the sectionals didn't show it, but I mean, we had a winning season.
Team.
And yeah, it was very fun to be a part of, and the girls just welcomed me in so well, and I thought it was very fun.
Talk about your parents. What are your parents' names?
My mom is Greta, and my dad's Josh. They're both Greta and Josh Jackson. My mom is a school teacher. My dad runs his own company. My dad wrestled at U of I.
Oh, wow. Right in Indianapolis.
For 4 years, and then he also played football there. And my mom swam at U of I for 4 years.
So being an athlete is in the family. Yeah. Tell me what it's like carrying the torch forward for your family. And I'm sure they're here tonight. I see they must be big supporters of you.
Yeah, they support me in everything that I do. I just want to make them proud at the end of the day. And, that athleticism in our family is there. My brother also plays collegiate football.
Oh, really? Where?
So, Olivet Nazarene in Illinois.
Okay, I know that school, yes.
I'm just carrying it over into the next generation.
Good for you.
And I'm very excited because I get to play at my parents' caliber school, even a little higher, maybe. And, yeah, I'm just very excited because it just proves all my hard work I've been putting in is showing, and I'm getting the results that I wanted.
Well, congratulations. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Big time congratulations to Kennedy Jackson on choosing Grand Valley State University. We will keep an eye on her and wish her luck in the future. We transition to our next athlete at Culver Community. We're not done yet. They've got him over there right now. Destin Green. He has committed to Manchester University. He's quite the runner there at Culver. Let him describe what he's going to do after high school. He has quite the plans. Here is my sit-down interview with Destin Green.
All right, Destin, first off, congratulations. A big-time decision going to Manchester University. You've got to be very happy. But overall, let's talk about your career here at Culver. I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about all the running you had done here to get you to Manchester. Talk about the start here at Culver and what running means to you.
Thank you for that. So I came to Culver my sophomore year, and it was like the last semester. And I decided to join track, and I took a long break in middle school. I ran in middle school, and I took a break. Freshman, sophomore year, I came to Culver, and really started was my grandma. She told me to do track. I didn't want to do track, but it was my grandma that wanted me to do it. Yeah, and so I decided to join, and I went off a track and just kept practicing every day with the team, and I had really no vision of going forward with it in my life. So really with track, I just ran, practice every day, and I had my friends there really motivated me. I almost quit track like so many times, but yeah. And I came back, and when conference came around, I got second place, almost first.
Surprised you a little.
Yeah, by a second or two. And then I went to sectionals. I didn't place. I did place, but I didn't move on to regionals. But with that, going to my junior year cross country, I decided to do cross country. I wasn't going to do cross country, but I did cross country because of a family member told me to do it, and I joined cross country, and I just did cross country, no image, no vision. I just did it, just showed to practice and ran, and then it wasn't really until like after the season I became motivated, and I got in contact with another coach, a private coach, and his name was John Miser, which is now was my coach this year for cross country. So basically, I trained a whole month, and I was running like 20 minutes for the 5K. And he brought me down to like running like 19, which is not a very big gap.
Sure.
But it was something. Like I seen like he had a vision for me, and he believed in me. So I believed in myself after that. And with that, track came around again my junior year, and I showed to practice every day. And I just played second conference again. I was hoping to get first, but I placed second, and it wasn't really until I came through motivated that summer going to cross country season. Like I trained 70 miles a week, and I really wanted to have a big season, a breakout season. But with that cross country for this year, I really tried my best and had a vision where I wanted to go to college and run in college because I love running. It's a really fun, good experience, and I had a lot of good races. I went down to the Midwest regionals down Terre Haute, and I ran the open race, and I placed 30th or 32nd out of 300 runners. Wow. But altogether, I placed 300 something out of 1,000 runners, which that was a pretty big accomplishment for me. Coming to looking back at the seasons I had before, and just a new runner I am. With that, I went to the Midwest East Bay regionals, and I raced that, and I got 30th out of 70 runners. But altogether, actually that's just one race. But yeah, that's basically how that season went.
So it sounds like listening to your family was a good decision, because now you're heading off to Manchester. Yeah. So now you're getting ready to go into college, where in high school you weren't sure that you'd even like running, and now you find out that you enjoy and like running. Talk about maybe a little nerves going into college, maybe. I know we're still early. You've still got the rest of this year to finish up, but maybe you already know where you're going. A lot of kids still don't know where they're going at this time, in their senior year. I didn't. Yeah. So talk about what it's like knowing where you're going to be next fall already. A little of the nerves, maybe some butterflies.
Really going to after cross country season ended for me for my senior year, I really had no nerves. I'm really excited to move on to college for the next step. I have a lot more opportunities in college than I would have in high school, and the opportunity that Cash Dollar has given me to be on the team, that's just an accomplishment altogether. Really, I have no nerves. I'm just excited and have fun. That's all that matters. A lot of fun. So.
Well, congratulations for not having any nerves. I'll tell you what, I'd be scared to death, nervous, but good for you. You got the confidence. So now you're coming up on your final track season in high school. Talk about what you want to provide out on the track, maybe that will solidify this decision in going into Manchester.
So before outdoor track season, we have indoor track season. Really, indoor track season is not really with the team. It's just myself. Mm-hmm. I really race individually by myself. But right now I'm just training. I'm still training, even if it snows. It doesn't matter. You have to get out there and train, because, if you really want the big outcome, you want to see the results in the spring. You really want to put the work in before, and it will not happen if you're not doing the work. But really, indoor track, I just want to have fun, and then when outdoor track comes, I really want to hit my goal times. PRs, and hopefully I want qualify for regionals and then maybe state potentially. Mm-hmm. It just determines how much work I'm putting in right now. Yeah, hopefully, I want to break the school record here at Culver. Basically, what record? I want to break the mile record, the 2-mile record, maybe the 400-meter record, and also I want to break the 800-meter record.
4 records.
Yeah, 4 records.
That you have your eye on right now.
Yep, I do. Yeah.
So you've got the time, and you're getting ready to do it for this spring.
Yep, I am, and I think it should be easy. I think it shouldn't be easy, but I think it's definitely a good challenge to work towards. Yeah. And even if I don't accomplish my goals, at least I tried going for it. So.
For sure. What are your parents' names?
My mom's name is Lena Green, and my dad's name is Jamie Green.
Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Congratulations on going to Manchester University. I mean, what a choice. Congratulations. You'll be a Spartan, but you still got work to do. You've got 4 goals in mind here this spring for track. Good luck. I hope we'll talk to you soon before then, but congratulations.
Thank you.
Shining a light on 2 big-time athletes over at Culver Community as they have committed to continuing their athletic careers after high school. We wish them luck. As we are going to take a break and come right back, head coach of the Winamac boys basketball team, Cam Bennington, is on the other side. You are not going to want to miss this one. We are going to get you ready for tonight's matchup between the Winamac Warriors boys team and the Knox Redskins. That's coming up next here on the Saturday Sports Line. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Let's go! He walks further down the street with the brim pulled way down low. Ain't no sound but the sound.
This presentation of our area's local high school sports is sponsored by Pulaski Memorial Hospital in Winamac. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is dedicated to providing excellent health care to improve the health and quality of life for the people and the community they serve. They will meet the community's needs and exceed their expectations by creating the best possible healthcare experience. For more information of the services they provide, call 946-2100.
Collins Insurance Agency in Knox has done it again. They have earned the distinction of preferred agency partner from the Western Reserve Insurance Company.
Can't touch this.
So what does that mean for you? Collins Insurance Agency provides themselves of taking care of its community. That means providing the best insurance that keeps you and your family safe in a time of need. And with this honor, Collins Insurance Agency looks forward to providing Stark and surrounding counties the best customer service you and your family deserve. Collins Insurance Agency in Knox, living the golden rule by treating you like family. Welcome to Marian University's newest location, Ancilla College of Marian University. Marian's newest campus location in Plymouth is your home for an on-campus college experience. From living in the dorms to being a collegiate student-athlete, Marian University is ranked 3rd most innovative Midwest university by U.S. News & World Report. For more information about our 2- or 4-year degrees, go to www.marian.edu/Ancilla. That's www.marian.edu/Ancilla.
Let's continue the conversation with area high school coaches and more on the Saturday Sports Line.
All right, we finally have a chance to sit down and talk with head coach of the Winamac Warriors boys basketball team, Cam Bennington. Of course, this is his first year at Winamac. The Warriors, a tough start to the 2022-2023 campaign, but we finally have a chance to sit down and talk with Cam here. Coach, appreciate the time. Not the way you wanted to start the season, but had a couple wins here before the Christmas break we can talk about. Thanks for taking the time. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on. I'm glad to be on. Glad we get a chance to talk.
Absolutely. Let's dive right in. Looks like there was a lot of learning curves, and then you picked up your first big win on December 19th. Let's talk about what led up to that day.
Yeah, and I think we've tried to use the word compete a lot around here as a word that we were going to try and define our season with, no matter what the scoreboard says, that we were going to compete and try to be competitive in every game and, every day find a way to compete and get better. That got put to the test really early on as we took some of them right on the chin, and there was a lot of learning, and there were things that I had to get better at as the season went on that maybe weren't even on my radar going into game one. And truthfully, no matter how much we had in the summer and the fall together to work, you learn way more once you get into real games that count than you ever do in scrimmages and little summer practices and fall workouts. So it took us some time to get to know each other a little bit more as basketball players and as coaches. But, I think a new word has kind of came about, and that's growth for me. And I think this team has grown a lot in a short amount of time from the start of the season. The scoreboard hasn't always reflected that. But, you know, early in the year, we were searching for an identity. I think we're getting closer to having one. I don't know that I would say we have an identity in everything we do yet, but we're slowly working our way towards that. But, you know, you look at game number 2 of the year, we went to North Newton, and they beat us by 6 in an afternoon game there that was a really competitive back and forth game most of the way. And then we got the chance to play them in the third place game of our tournament here last week, and we're able to beat them by 20 and, you know, hold them to only 26 points. And so that for me showed a lot of growth in these guys and showed their ability to continue to compete and work despite the scoreboard and despite what we've gone through early on here this year.
Well, talk about the competition on this team. Was the starting 5 kind of hard to come up with?
You know, at first I thought it was going to be, and then as we got into practice, I think they kind of separated themselves from a standpoint of who was going to start and who wasn't. You know, I think a lot of it had to do with leadership and experience, and guys that have been there and done that before kind of separated themselves just from that. But with that being said, we've deployed quite a few different starting lineups here, and part of it is you know, junior John Malco got hurt in our game against Manchester a couple weeks ago and injured his knee, and then we're slowly trying to work him back in the mix and still working on getting him cleared and hopefully having him back sometime this month. Not exactly sure when that's going to be quite yet, but you know, he went down and you know, he's been a leader on both ends of the floor for us. And so then we've kind of, you know, 3 or 4 different guys have tried to start in his spot, and then we've kind of tried to ride the hot hand as we've gone through that. But you know, I think the starters, from the most part, from a leadership standpoint and experience standpoint, separated themselves. But, you know, the 5 to start the game and the 5 that end the game are oftentimes different for us.
Interesting. So, like you said, it's been a year of growth, and that's what it's been about. Let's go ahead and talk about the tournament. On December 19th, of course, you took on Delphi and beat them for your first win of the season. You guys had to be happy to just get that monkey off your back. A big win, 10 points, which is hard to do this day and age, really. So talk about that first win, really.
Yeah, you know, it was really nice to just get the first one out of the way, and it felt like we were scratching and clawing just to get the first one. And then you know you take away we took 2 pretty on the chin, pretty hard against Manchester and Triton right before that. You know, we went through an NBA schedule type of stretch. we ended up playing 4 games in 5 days, and as a whole we played 6 games in 9 days, and it really tested us in a lot of different ways there. But you take away those two major losses, we were in just about every game that we had lost. And had a chance to make a winning play at a time here or there, but just didn't get it done. And that kind of, you know, really starts to get at you a little bit, and it starts to get on your nerves, and, you know, it frustrates you. And then just finally getting the first one off your back was really nice for us as a whole. Not just for me as a coach, but for the kids too. We got the first one out of the way. And then we were able to, you know, not worry about when are we going to win. You know, it was just, hey, we're going to get wins, and we're going to play hard, and we're going to continue to grow and continue to compete. You know, we went over there and played a Delphi team that's really successful, and a Delphi team that I think may even beat some of the teams that have beat us already this year.
Wow.
You know, so we went in knowing that it was going to be tough, and it was a night where some shots fell, and we had some guys step up into roles that, you know, maybe they hadn't been in yet, and some guys played with a little bit more confidence than they had, and we knocked down some shots. And they really bought into the game plan. And it was funny how when you started to finally see some shots go down, we slowly got better defensively. You know, I think you always hope as a coach that your offense gets better as you play defense, but, you know, sometimes that always isn't the case. And that night, you know, we had some shots go down, and next thing you know, guys were playing with a little more energy, and we were a little bit more intense on the defensive end. And it was really, really nice to go over there and beat a Delphi team that I think is actually pretty good.
One thing I will say I'm looking at right now, through the 11 games you've played, you've only had 4 home games, and it looks like you're going to be away for the majority of this month as well, Coach. That is not easy at all. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. You know, we started on the road games 1 and 2, then we got to play 4 games in a row at home, and that was nice. But once that was done, it was back to reality, and you know, we're going to end up playing like 9 or 10 games. I think I calculated it up. I try not to focus on it too much, but you know, our last 5 games before break were on the road, and now our first 5 here to start this month are on the road. So about 10 games in a row here on the road. But you know, at the end of the day, we've tried to focus on the things that we can control, and control what you can control, and compete no matter the circumstance. You know, regardless of what's going on. You know, lots of coaches like to talk about toughness, and I know that's a word that we use a lot, but a lot of times kids don't know what toughness means, and it's not just physical toughness, but a lot of times it's mental toughness to be able to do what you're asked to do despite the circumstances at all times, and that's what we've tried to focus on, as a mindset standpoint for us, and so it's a challenge. We haven't pretended like it's not a thing. We addressed it. We're going to play 10 games on the road here, but at the end of the day, the ball's the same size, the court's the same length, it's still 10 feet off the ground. We may not have as many fans. We may not get the home whistle that you hope to get, but that's not what we can control. We control what we can control, and at the end of the day, it's still a basketball game.
Well, we continue from the tournament, a tough loss against Frankfort, but then you turn things right around and actually get third place, winning against North Newton, like you had mentioned earlier, 20-point win. Talk about what that team showed in resiliency to you. I mean, to come off a loss to a good team in Frankfort and then come right back and beat North Newton, who you had mentioned lost earlier on in the season, that had to show you a little something.
Yeah, that was really nice for us. And the nice thing about the tournament for us is that, and the reason I keep using the word growth is I think we grew a lot in that week, not just because we got wins, but we played really well, and we did all the little things, the small things right to get that gritty win against Delphi. And we went away from that a little bit the very next night. Part of it is I think we were tired, but again, we don't want to make excuses. We got away from some of the things that made us successful, some of those toughness things. And, Frankfurt is a big, strong, physical team that really took it to us and made it hard on us offensively by just being simply physically stronger than we were and making it hard on us. And we got away from some of the fundamentals. And so then, Wednesday at practice, we were able to talk about that a little bit and regroup and realize, okay, if we're going to win and be successful, we got to do things the right way every single time. And I thought our guys did a great job of doing that as we went into that Thursday game for the third-place game. And I tell you what, it was a middle-of-the-afternoon game. There was about 25 people in the gym on a Thursday right before the massive snowstorm was about to hit. But you would have thought that it was a sectional semifinal game on a Friday night with the level of detail and attention to detail that our guys had. They were locked in on the scouting report. They felt like they let one get away from them the first time we played those guys. And, we really took it to them on both ends of the floor. And, that was fun to watch, and it really showed the growth that this team has had in a short amount of time.
Well, you've had quite a bit of a break here, December 22nd to tonight, January 7th. You traveled to Harold Weinberg Gymnasium, our first chance to get a glimpse at the Warriors. Very excited. We're actually going to be covering you guys for the next couple of weeks here. I'm kind of happy to be able to see more Winamac here in January. Unfortunately, like you said, they're all away games, but you've got Knox tonight. What do you know about the Knox Redskins?
Yeah, we were able to see them on film a little bit, and I got a chance to go up to Plymouth and watch them a little bit in their tournament game. And obviously, I think there's two kids that really stand out for you. Binkley at guard and Austin inside are two kids that both play with an incredible amount of energy. And that's something that I strive for. And, the kids that you would hate to coach against, but everybody would love to have on your team because they do things just with their energy that you can't coach, and you can't coach how to stop it or beat it. The only way to beat it is to match their energy level. And those two kids, you can tell that they love the game. They love to compete with how hard they play. And so our kids are going to have to be ready, to match their energy and their enthusiasm and their physicality from the start. They beat a really, really, really good Judson team here recently, and that's a team that, I don't think a lot of people in the area had marked down as wins on their calendar with everything they got coming back. Being able to watch that game and learn from that and just trying to find ways to compete. And we're going back to the compete word of, we got little details that we're going to try to do and execute well, but the main thing for us is going to be compete and taking that to the next level in terms of energy and enthusiasm, because if we don't do that, the X's and O's don't matter. Those two guys will beat you just by playing harder than you.
What's your message to Warrior Nation this morning, hoping to get them to travel up north to Knox?
My message is to just stick with us here. We took them on the chin, and then we had some really good crowds that unfortunately saw us fall short. But these guys are growing, they're competing, and they deserve all the support in the world. And they're not going to give up on this season. And I just hope they don't. The community doesn't give up on them, and I know they won't. And we have a great community and a great fan base here. But we're just hoping some people make the drive up tonight and get to watch us take on a really good Knox team.
Coach, appreciate your time. I look forward to officially meeting you tonight. Of course, we just met in passing during football season, but I totally look forward to tonight's game and very excited to broadcast it. Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, that's head coach of the Winamac Warriors boys basketball team, Cam Bennington, here on the Saturday Sports Line, the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana. Don't go anywhere from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios. More to come. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Real magic is everywhere. It's in your mom's cooking, in 4-hour dinners with friends, in that first bite of something new, and in the fizz of a Coca-Cola. Now with so many options for less than $5, the Coca-Cola Value Collection will help you make the most out of every magic moment for so much less. Taste the magic for less with Coca-Cola.
Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Brian Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort. Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
It's time now for Where Are They Now? A look back at more than a half century of WKVI radio covering local high school sports. Today's program is brought to you by Osborne's Mini Marts in Knox and Culver. Now let's meet one of the local high school sports figures from more than 50 years of WKVI sports and find out where are they now.
As we look back on 50 years of broadcasting high school sports in the Kankakee Valley here on WKVI, our guest this morning is Fred Stayton, a 1985 graduate of Culver Community High School. And the classic question, Fred, is, where are you now and what are you doing?
Well, Harold, it's great to hear your voice. When I hear your voice, I just sounds like I'm 18 all over again, and I know that's the same feeling probably guys in their 20s and 40s and 60s all have just hearing your voice. So thank you for that longevity. But for the last 25 years, I've been a pastor in northern Indiana at 3 different churches. I pastored for 10 years in North Liberty. Then I pastored in the Goshen area for 14 years, and now I'm on US 30 in Columbia City pastoring.
Going back, Fred, of course, you were a member of that sectional championship team in 1985 that Ron Stevens coached, and you guys weren't supposed to win that sectional, and you did. What game stands out most in your mind in your entire high school career?
Well, obviously, it would be that game. Culver had never really won anything big, except I guess back in 1976 they won a bi-county, and so we'd never won a sectional. We'd never had back-to-back winning seasons, and so that's what we were setting our heart on. And if we hadn't gotten that game, it wouldn't have gotten done.
Well, you had some really strong teammates in that on that team. Who were some of those guys that helped you? You were the leading scorer your senior year, but who were some of the other guys?
Yeah, it was a very strong senior class. Brad Anderson was a shooting guard that was very strong. Brad and I, along with Ryan Stevens, grew up together, going to kindergarten together all the way through, and we would play at recess all the way through. So Ryan Stevens was a point guard on that team. Bob Krall was a 6'5" center, a big guy that was very strong. And that was probably the core of that team in terms of scores.
As you go back to those days and you went into that, particularly the sectional championship against Oregon Davis, and you guys weren't supposed to win, you end up winning by 1. What did you remember most about that game?
Well, there's so much. I think because we won it, so much of that night that just sticks in my memory. I know that the night before we beat Knox, and we had to beat them by doing a lot of driving. Brad Anderson would be on one wing and I was on another wing, and they would get up in our face, and we were just driving and getting a lot of fouls and layups. And I just remember Dan Warkentine was a strong coach, and he played us a lot different. He backed off on us and kind of dared us to shoot from the outside, and just we were fortunate that the ball went in that night.
Talking about coaches, what was it like to play for Ron Stevens?
Well, I always joke. I even joke with Coach about that especially being a pastor now, I learned a lot of words from Coach. He was a very, very intense coach, a very good guy. He treated us fairly and all of that, but man, we had some good years, and quite frankly, I had him for 3 years of tennis. He was my JV coach as a freshman, and then both of us went to the varsity as a sophomore, junior, and senior. Then I had him in senior year in baseball. So I don't think there's anybody that had more time with Ron Stevens. In fact, I think he was probably the man that was around me the most in those years.
Growing up, Fred, and as you played in high school, who were some of the people who were your role models or who helped you be successful in athletics?
Well, I think in terms of just in terms of life, it's my dad. My dad is just absolutely everything to me, and his sacrificed so much in order to pour into my life, and I'm just so thankful for that. He more taught me to work hard. Just anything I was doing to not give up and quit, and just to work hard. So that was big. But Ike Dahl was probably a coach that poured a lot into us as fourth graders, fifth graders. He was the coach before Ron Stevens, and just was trying to build a program at the school. And of course, just for wins, didn't quite see the success, but a lot of that foundation for those winning teams was a lot of his work with us early on.
What took you to pastoral work? You have a rather large church over there in Columbia City that's obviously very active. What took you into the pastorate?
Well, right before my senior year in high school, it's hard for me to really explain it, Harold. Just it's a calling. 1 minute, the last thing I wanted to be was a pastor, and quite honestly, the next minute, I knew that that's what I was supposed to do with my life, and I'm very thankful for that. Not a lot of people get that sense of calling in their life, and so just by being able to have that has helped through some of the more difficult times in life, and just knowing, that's where I'm supposed to be at.
Our guest here on our Where Are They Now segment is Fred Stayton, a graduate of Culver High School, and this is a conversation we had with Fred some 4 years ago now, and we'll continue with our conversation after this timeout.
Need a game plan that has your day covered from tip-off to the buzzer? Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox has you covered. Whether you like to start out with a caffeinated full-court press or control the tempo with a Subway breakfast flatbread, Osborne's Mini Mart has what you need. Don't get trapped in the corner with an empty stomach. Call a quick timeout and get 2 hot dogs for $1.29. Visit Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox at the corner of US 35 and Highway 8 East to guarantee you win the day.
Our guest on Where Are They Now is Fred Stayton, a 1985 graduate of Culver High School who helped lead his team to a sectional championship in basketball his senior year in 85. Going back, Fred, what did you gain from being a high school athlete that helped you be successful in life?
Well, on any team, there's just the relationships are so important. You can learn so much in terms of leadership, so much in terms of adversity. I remember our junior year, Kyle Elliott was just such a strong leader. In fact, I don't believe we win it in 85 without the leadership of Kyle, Albert Hanselman, some of those in that class ahead of us were so strong. But as a pastor, I think if Jesus were using our culture today, the word pastor would be coach, because the same things that a pastor does are the things that a coach does. A coach teaches, a coach trains, a coach at times has to give you difficult words, a coach gives you encouraging words, all of those kinds of things in terms of relationship. And so many things that I've learned about being a pastor is just what I've learned from coaches.
Going forward, let me ask you this. What kind of advice do you have for athletes who want to have the kind of success you guys had?
Well, I think we live in a different day today than it was even back when I played. I already alluded to the fact that at every recess, no matter what the sport was, Brad Anderson and Ryan Stevens and I were out playing, and nobody was organizing it. We were just out playing. And I think today sports has gotten to be kind of a big business, even for little kids. And as a father, I've noticed it. I've got 6 kids myself, and taking them through athletics, I've just noticed that there's such a pressure today to be. People think that if they don't get their kids into a sport in 4th grade or 3rd grade, that they're going to get behind absolutely everybody else. So, I try to tell my little boy now, I've got, again, 6 kids from 27 down to 9, so I've been through it, but I'm still going through it. Learn to shoot right, learn to dribble, learn to do the fundamentals really, really good. And you're just going to grow into the game as you begin to do that. So I think we're playing way too many games, and we're practicing not enough. We need to practice more and probably play fewer games.
6 kids. Were any of them as good a basketball players as you were? I mean, you scored over 700 points in your career.
Well, you try to let a kid go their own direction, and so I've got a daughter that's a marathoner, and absolutely, I'm not a runner, but she's a runner, and she's quite successful running in college and all, and is still running. I had a son that's a baseball player and played 4 years at Ball State, and was an academic All-American down there a couple times, and just so it wasn't necessarily in basketball, but I tried to follow what their passion was and tried to love what they love.
Well, Fred, thanks for taking time and visiting with us. It's fun to look back, and it's fun to know just what great work you're doing in your pastoral work as well.
Well, thank you for all that you do, and those moments. You are very important at every one of those moments, and very special. And I know that I speak for guys from many, many different generations, and just say thank you so much for considering what was important to us, considering it important to you.
Our guest on Where Are They Now has been Fred Stayton, a 1985 graduate of Culver High School. Join us again next week on the Saturday Sports Line for Where Are They Now?
Where Are They Now? A look back at more than a half century of high school sports coverage on WKVI has been brought to you by Osborne's Mini Marts in Knox and Culver.
Join us each Saturday morning on WKVI for the Saturday Sports Line and worldwide on WKVI.com.
Time now for our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week, given in memory of Tyler Roth, a 2001 graduate of Winamac High School who died in an auto accident 1 week after his high school graduation. His legacy of hard work, outstanding citizenship, artistic success, and super athletic performance lives on with this award given every week to outstanding student athletes from the 8 schools in the Kankakee Valley. Today's award is brought to you by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac, and we'll tell you who's earned the Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week after this word from Web Printing.
Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack and signs of all kinds in Winamac is where all of your printing needs can be met. Whether it's paper, garments, or signs, Web Printing is your full-service printing solution. So if you're in need of embroidered or screen-printed garments, tickets or programs for your event, or documents for your business, Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack is the place to go. For the quickest service, best prices, and best quality, it's Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac.
Our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week for this week is Olivia Marks, a member of the girls basketball team at South Central. Olivia is having an amazing season for the Satellites. Olivia broke 1,000 career points already this season. We were there for that game and lucky enough to broadcast it. She is a main leader on this Lady Satellite team and provides a spark when the team needs it most. Olivia is the daughter of Scotty and Bridget Marks and is also a member of the softball team at South Central. We congratulate Olivia Marks of South Central, our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week. Olivia will receive a certificate, a history of the award, and a t-shirt commemorating her achievement, and will also be a future guest on the Saturday Sports Line. She will be eligible for our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year award later this spring, which carries with it a plaque and a college scholarship, compliments of WKVI and the family of Tyler Roth. The Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week is brought to you by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac. We'll work on getting that interview, as that will wrap up our first Saturday Sports Line of 2023. The tradition continues. I'm Mitch Columby. So glad you join us each and every Saturday. Don't forget to join us tonight for a matchup between the Winamac Warriors and the Knox Redskins. We did the girls' game last night. It's time for the boys to show us what they got. That's going to be at Harold Weinberg Gymnasium, broadcasting live right here on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI 99.3 FM and streaming throughout the world on WKVI.com. We'll see you tonight. You enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI, you've been listening to the Saturday Sports Line with Sports Director Mitch Columby.